Welcome back. The team's coming out here in Rotterdam, a crowd of 48,000, including 4,000 English fans to greet them, and time for us to join our commentary team. Ron Atkinson is alongside Brian Moore.
Good evening to you from the commentary box here in the Feyenoord Stadium. Certainly a night for strong nerves. Definitely down there on the pitch, and quite possibly with millions and millions of you at home. The prize tonight here in Holland could hardly be greater. Really is a night when winner takes all. Certainly it's a night, if you're an Englishman, a night to get behind your England team. If England win, remember, barring miracles, they're through to the finals in the USA next summer. If Holland win, barring miracles, they go through. Since it's another night that we're going to spend on the edge of our seats. Fantastic atmosphere, 48,000 here in the Feyenoord Stadium, 4,000 Englishmen among them. And the Dutch FA received applications for no fewer than 150,000. That really is nice work if you can get it. Graham Taylor, very positive. When I spoke to him earlier today, we're going out to win. He says, I don't think it's in the English mentality to play for a draw. We should go out to try to grab the initiative from the very first kick of this vital game. He said the squad is vibrant and it's in a really confident mood. And it probably needs to be here because the Dutch regard this fanatical crowd here as virtually a 12th man. Awaiting the national anthems, and I've no doubt these England players will be Paul Merson there, Lee Sharp. Well, they seem really relaxed there. Tony Adams, the national anthem. So the 4,000 England fans. So the anthem's over, the action soon to begin. Let's first check on the two sides, starting with England with David Seaman in goal. Paul Parker's greater experience got him the place in front of Rob Jones, who just had 2 caps. Tony DeRigo replacing the injured Stuart Pearce. A vital job for those fullbacks against 2 swift Dutch wingers. Carlton Palmer, Paul Ince and Lee Sharp form the midfield, with David Platt taking the role of Paul Gascoigne just behind the striking partnership of Alan Shearer and Paul Merson. It was thought that Merson might play on the right of midfield, but Graham Taylor has suggested that Merson's ability to run at defenders and to pick up Platt as well might just give him the edge. Ian Wright, therefore, is amongst the subs. As for the Dutch, De Hoy in goal, Ronald Koeman, their captain and sweeper, De Wolf and Frank de Boer, the markers, Rijkaard and Wouters, the vital elements for them in midfield. Overmars and Roy are those 2 quick wingers I was talking about. Bergkamp, the brilliant player from Inter Milan, We think he might play just behind the other De Boer. That's Ronald, the twin brother of the defender. Substitutes, 2 from 5, of course. Ian Wright and Teddy Sheringham, 2 strikers on the England bench, can come on if needed. Andy Sinton in the midfield, of course. Des Walker in the defence. Chris Woods, the sub-goalkeeper. Let's have a quick word with Jim Rosenthal down on the bench. So speak. And here's the referee from Germany, Karl-Josef Assenmacher, with 2 German linesmen. Important that he's a strong element in this affair tonight, because it'll be a fiercely competitive game in every respect. We'll get a word from Ron Atkinson in just a moment. Let's just let Ron have a look at the opening minute or two to see how the play is developing. And the band's still taking some time to come. A quick word from you then, Ron. How do you think it might go?
I think you summed it up. It's a night for brave people, where the England players have got to be brave, not only physically but mentally, and be prepared to not go at it mad, just take the time and be a little bit patient as well. Get a good settling down period early on.
Well, the band has disappeared. The referee, not the first time tonight, will be glancing at his watch. Big deep breath, and soon this vital World Cup qualifier will be underway. Winner takes all. 2 great footballing nations battling really now for 1 place in the United States. This really is a place to be here, as we say, for strong nerves. Cool temperament, for high skill, total competitiveness as Rijkaard gets it back to Ed de Goey, the final goalkeeper, playing in his home stadium. Little Mark Overmars, who's playing down the right here. He plays down the left for his club Ajax. De Wolf giving that away. Shearer trying to get in, but quickly closed down by Ronald Koeman. In comes Wouters. Played then for Erwin Koeman on the far side. The first touch now for Brian Roy. Wouters in there again. Back again to Erwin Koeman, brother of the sweeper and captain, Frank de Boer. England looking to get hold of the ball and to take this initiative right from the start. It was Tony Adams with the header there. Here's Shearer. Platt waiting in the middle. And not in there by Lee Sharp. Merson trying to make something of it. He's battling there with the big Wolf man, John the Wolf, and a free kick for Holland. Quickly taken, cut out by Dorigo. Lee Sharp playing it short now for Paul Ince, a long-range shot, and over de Goey's crossbar.
Yes, we've already seen one of the early duels for me, Brian. That's the one with Sharp and Rijkaard. The one who can do the most attacking of that pair. If Rijkaard's allowed to come forward, he will cause all sorts of mayhem. If Sharp can pin him back in his own third of the field, then that would be a big, big plus for England.
Palmer losing out for a moment there. Bergkamp chasing. Pallister gets it back. Unflappable David Seaman gets it away. Up goes Shearer again. He's had a terrific little run with Blackburn since he came back from injury. 5 goals in 4 starts. A little flick there by Platt. Brought down, no foul. Pallister's header guiding it, but then guiding it straight to Overmars.
I think Platt should have had a foul then, Brian, definitely. I think it was well tripped up. He did a clever little trick and got himself into quite a promising situation. But it certainly seems the England battle tactic is to try and push and press the game as far forward as they can. I mean, Platt's gone right up with the strikers. Palmer's pushed up with them as well. And they're trying to sort of flood and crowd the ball areas.
Parker didn't quite get to that one. Dutch passing skillfully at the moment on a very good surface indeed. Roy playing it inside. De Boer finding Overmars. Still a youngster. Only 5 caps. Looking to get the better of Dorigo, does so. A long cross, and it's too long. It's over Roy's head. Carlton Palmer can just dodge in there with a header. Finds Paul Parker with it. Hit long.
That would be worrying, wouldn't it, the way Overmars went past Dorigo. I mean, Tony Dorigo would pride himself on his left side, on his pace. All of a sudden, the little kid in the 7 shirt has flown past him.
Well, we know about his pace, Ron. It was he who provided the Dutch with the penalty when he outpaced Des Walker at Wembley in the 2-2 draw last April. Or playing it forward towards his twin brother. This is Ronald Koeman. Goes straight through to Gary Pallister. Here's David Platt. Good break here by Lee Sharp. And the ball given away. Merson trying to get it through to Shearer. Tries to get it back to play. Merson with a chance. But the flag was up for an offside on the far side. But England working the ball well in that Dutch penalty area. So an offside given. So it was an offside. Some chasing back there by Pallister. While you were on that slow motion, Overmars made another of those runs.
We also saw in that little quick incisive build-up from England, the weakness for me in the Dutch side is at the back. Ronald Koeman, marvellous player coming forward, knocking the ball, but a very poor defender, once hounding.
John de Wolf then with the throw for Holland. Rijkaard trying to play it on, knocked away by Pallister. A valuable interception, that one. Platt can take it on. Shearer won't get to that one. One of the tasks I think that Graham Taylor set Alan Shearer was always to push up on the sweeper Ronald Koeman, to try and panic him. That might take a little bit of doing because Koeman is such an experienced player. Here's Roy. This could be problems. And we've seen already how both the wingers now are exposing our fullbacks, Ron.
Very much so. When you say both, I mean, I thought actually Paul Parker did well at the end there. He just stood and held his ground and managed just to block the shot off. But it shows a great Dutch strength. There's always been their movement off the ball, the way they're able to make those little diagonal runs. And if we allow them to, and if we were sleeping at the back, they'll pick us off for fun.
Rijkaard with a header. Dorigo backpedaling. Can Lee Sharp pick that up? He can. Cuts inside Rijkaard. Plays a ball in there. Going towards David Platt, making one of those breaks from the midfield. But very well watched indeed by Frank de Boer. Knocking it away and playing it around with a lot of confidence at the moment, the Dutch. Ronald de Boer, half stopped there by Pallister. Free kick to Holland. It's like a cauldron out there. Laurie McMenemy saying there's no training for a night like this, just a lifetime in the game. And the Dutch, in fact, are beautifully balanced in terms of old heads and young heads. One of the old heads there, Wouters. De Boer playing it through to Bergkamp. Missed out badly there. Dorigo gets it away. De Wolf. Overmars. He's already been a problem tonight. Now, how will Dorigo hold him? He's gone past Dorigo again. Gets it across. And Bergkamp over the top. A glorious opportunity there for Holland. Again, made for them by this man, Mark Overmars. Just touched back there by Roy and slammed over the top to England's relief by Dennis Bergkamp.
Let up of a lifetime, that wasn't it? And you would have bet money on this fella scoring. I mean, that might just be, you know, they were they missed a load of chances, Holland, in the game against Norway, which in effect would have seen England out. They've just missed an absolute sitter there. We've seen two things there, Brian, for me. Once again, the added danger of Mark Overmars, and B, when England won the ball just prior to that, giving the ball away too cheaply. Against the Dutch, you cannot afford to give the ball away. They'll outpass you for fun.
Ince to Parker. Roy's got the better of him. Will it stay in play? It has, and Brian Roy's on his way. De Boer waiting in the middle. Bergkamp coming up fast. Here's Dennis Bergkamp again. Trying to get it wide there. And straight into the arms of Seaman, that time from Jan Wouters.
That's
The Dutch are running it at the moment.
superb support play, though, wasn't it? Bouter sprung from his own half of the field, and you know, he's hit that one straight down the throat of Seaman. But that's a warning. We mustn't get empty in midfield too early.
Little flick on by Merson. Picked up here by Shearer. Brought down. That's a free kick surely conceded by the Wolf. Pallister goes forward. And Tony Adams. Lee Sharp will take it.
We could just do it, Platt, couldn't we, on one of those little nicks, little fast-in swinger towards the keeper, and one of Platt's little darting runs and a nick past him.
Let's see what we can do. Lee Sharp with it. Plenty of England white shirts are in there. And straight into the arms of Ed de Hoy. The ball out to Rijkaard. Up to Overmars. They're feeding him. They sense that that's where they could undo England down this right flank. De Wolf, Rijkaard, we've seen what Overmars can do. Bergkamp waiting, just playing off the front man. John De Wolf. This is Jan Wouters. Rijkaard. To the outside of the boot there.
Brian, I actually think, you know, we're playing more with our hearts than our heads at the moment. I think we're committing ourselves too much forward and leaving lots of spaces. The team as a whole is getting stretched. I think I'd have preferred it if England had said, hey, we'll keep a few men behind the ball. We'll block the game up a bit. We won't allow the Dutch any space to pass through us. I mean, I've seen Bergkamp at the moment running free for fun.
It's Lee Sharp, though, for England at the moment. Crossing it in there. Safely gathering it again. De Wolf forward to Wouters. To Wouters again. Well, that was good that Ince got in so quickly there. Is down. Doesn't take Shearer's offer of help to his feet again. Let's have a look between Wales and Cyprus. 0-0 at half-time. Wales will certainly be hoping to improve on that in the second half. Up goes Pallister. Challenged by De Boer. Platt knocking it down for Sharp. Shearer. Played for Carlton Palmer. Koeman. Flicking the ball almost arrogantly out there for Rijkaard. Wouters. Give him a chance, he'll run things through the midfield with Wouters. Out comes David Seaman. Bergkamp, we had a shot at him, the Dutch manager there. Bergkamp, to Wouters. To Roy. Parker getting it back to Seaman. Koeman. Frank de Boer. Given away there just fortunately by Ince. In came Adams very quickly for England. Koeman again. The Dutch doing all the pressing here now in these early stages. To De Boer, cut out well by Dorigo.
Just been watching for the last few minutes, Brian. What is extremely worrying for me, is if I'd have been Graham Taylor now, is the amount of space Bergkamp. He's not playing as an out-and-out front player. He drops off as we expected. But as soon as he feeds it into one of the other strikers, he sprints behind, and there doesn't seem anyone in the English back line capable of picking him up. They're spending a lot of time ball watching, and about 3 or 4 times he's appeared right in the middle of the box, free in space.
Outers. Here's Bergkamp again. Just exactly the point Ron Atkinson was making. Palmer tried to close him down there. This is De Boer.
But that, of course, is the problem. I mean, my ideal way of playing against him there would be to say to Ince, you go and sit on him, go and lock Bergkamp out the game for a little bit, because he is a key player for them. But, of course, we're unbalanced on the right-hand side. It means Palmer then will be playing against 3 of their other midfield players. That's the problem, I think, with playing the shape we're playing in.
Talking to Graham earlier today, I certainly got the impression that was to be Ince's role, that he was going to look after Bergkamp. But here's a good break. Now, David Platt, pushed away by De Boer. England's corner.
Well, that's the best effort of the game so far, isn't it? Lovely piece of work there by Platty. Slightly pushed out to the angle, but he's still got a firm wrap on it, and he gives England a chance to build up pressure on them.
20 goals in 43 internationals for David Platt. Corner for England then. Plenty of white shirts up from the back. It was De Boer getting it away. Question again by Lee Sharp. That time it was Ronald Koeman getting it clear. De Boer. Bergkamp ahead of him. Brian Roy. Bergkamp. A lazily played ball there, easily into the path of Gary Pallister.
I'll tell you what, Brian, if he hadn't played a bad ball, then Overmars was in for fun. They'd taken Dorigo right across the field, and Overmars had got all the space in the land to play.
England's free kick.
But once again, you know, that counter-attack came as a result of bad passing from Parker. Parker gave the ball away, won it, gave it away far, far too cheaply.
De Boer waits. Koeman just nodding it down, knocked away. Adams back here for England. That's the quarter of an hour mark, still 0-0. Koeman. Rijkaard. Irvin Koeman finding Roy. This is football in Italy. There's Roy for Foggia. Ince quickly closing down Rijkaard.
Does that well, doesn't he? Gets close to people and then gets under them and makes sure he makes his presence felt. That's 2 great tackles he's got in the first 15.
Paul Ince, Graham Taylor saying earlier this week, he's been the real big bonus his form for England over the last 12 months. Merson making a break. Offside against Carlton Palmer.
And Merson will be well pleased with that. Picked it up round well, flicked a good ball into Carlton Palmer, and Carlton looking along the line there should never really have got himself offside.
Take their free kicks so quickly and get moving forward again, the Dutch. Looking here for Overmars, but let's hope that Dorigo can get there first and hooks it away well. Remind you, if England win, they go through to the World Cup finals. Really only an unthinkable defeat in San Marino could stop us then. Lee Sharp getting it forward, up to Merson. Oh, and he's got the better of De Wolf. He's got Shearer in the middle, still with Merson. Just wide, a fantastic drive there by Paul Merson.
Well, that would have vindicated everything the manager wanted, wouldn't it? That's the reason he said he was going to play him up front, to pick it up and run at people. That's a brilliant turn on De Wolf. You don't quite see. Cuts past Koeman, and England players can do that easily. Koeman's not a great defender when people run at him, and the shot's just curved wide. I must confess, I thought it was going to be a great goal there.
That is precisely why Graham Taylor picked him, Ron. Just for that sort of thing, running at De Wolf, getting his shot in. But here come Holland again. Roy. Bergkamp. Overmars. Work here for Dorigo again. Cutting inside this time, the little man. So if England win, they go through. Only an unthinkable defeat in San Marino could stop us. If it's a draw, England are favourites to go to the United States. They might just need a thumping victory against San Marino in their last game. And if they lose, well, to all intents and purposes, we're out of the World Cup. Certainly an improvement by England over the last 5 minutes when there was a threat in that first 10 that they were going to be overrun. Ince doing well. Really getting to grips with the situation there. Dorigo, he really needs to get to grips with Overmars. Pallister. Platt. Looking a little more comfortable, England, this moment. But here come the Dutch again. Bergkamp. Cheered on by this big Dutch crowd here in Rotterdam. Well played there by Tony Adams. Paul Parker plays it in now for David Platt. Here's Merson. Carlton Palmer. Parker. England never played an international here in Rotterdam. In fact, the last time in Holland, believe it or not, was way back in 1969. Sir Alf Ramsey's side won 1-0 in Amsterdam. Colin Bell the scorer that night. Do with a similar result here tonight. Meantime, it's De Boer. Long cross coming in, easily gathered by David Seaman.
Seen a couple of exciting runs, haven't we, from Merson? I'd like to see him go and try the other side of the field out a bit, get against Frank de Boer a little bit, and discourage de Boer from coming forward.
Shearer holding off De Wolf. Here's Merson. It falls in the end for Bergkamp. De Boer. Rijkaard. Overmars. Rijkaard. De Boer. Wouters. Into Wouters again.
I've just seen David Platt there playing piggy in the middle. That's expending energy. To me, that's misguided effort.
Sharp is back to help out.
I think he's better there, Brian, just sitting off the game, saying, all right, let them play in front of him, and at least not get picked off, and at least we as a club, as a team, stay very solid.
High towards Merson. Came off De Boer. Wouters to Koeman. Here is Merson trying again. Those swooping runs of his, and a ricochet. Didn't quite fall for David Platt. In fact, the whistle had gone way back. A free kick to Holland.
I must confess, I didn't really see any reason why that was a free kick. I thought he was well outstretched there, Koeman, when Merson was going at him.
Roy. Koeman. If the Dutch gets free kicks outside our area, that's when Ronald Koeman again will come into play. We need to watch out for that, not give free kicks away on the edge of our penalty area. He's a master at it. Here's Jan Wouters. Badly timed pass. Throw to England. England bench. Peter Bonetti on the right-hand side. I was mentioning about the victory in Amsterdam. In fact, Peter was in goal that night, back in 1969. Free kick to Holland. Koeman.
I think we've got to watch
devastating from this angle, from this distance, but closer in he was. Watch Rijkaard says wrong, but in fact Rijkaard was on the far side there. Did an England man get a touch? No. It's a throw to white-shirted England. Paul Parker will take it. Shearer. De Boer. Up to his brother. Bergkamp. Off the ball, Free kick given.
Once again, the forces to we've given the ball away. We've got to try and somehow or other keep getting the ball into Merson, into Shearer, and they can buy us a bit of time.
Wouters with a space to move. How well can he use it? Flings one out there. Parker gives away the corner. Ronald de Boer takes it. The Wolf up from the back. Rijkaard will be a danger here. And Frank the Wolf also up from the back. So England need to defend efficiently here. Seaman. Oh, the Wolf looked as though he might kick his head off there almost, but he didn't make contact, fortunately for England, either with Seaman or with the ball. Overmars hitting it long again. De Boer still on that far side, being closed down here by Carlton Palmer. He's got round Palmer. Overmars. Koeman! That's that deadly kick of his again. Put him in range of goal, and he's a threat every time.
Some great setting up plays give him that situation, hasn't it? I mean, the crossfield ball there from Overmars straight across to Roy was marvellous. There he goes. You line him up. What is he's fully 35 yards out, and I actually thought that was going to beat Seaman on his left hand.
De Boer wins it in the air. Paul Ince for England. Shearer. Ince knocking it on. Back to De Hoy. Free kick given to England now.
That's the worst part of his game, isn't it? We've seen the best part of his game, Koeman's coming forward and having shots. That's the worst part, when he's got to go and engage somebody and go and make defensive work.
Dorigo looking the likely candidate here. Merson there also behind the ball. And Ince obviously having some trouble with that shoulder. Now Tony Dorigo, can he rifle one in from this range? Oh, against the post! Fantastic drive there by Dorigo.
Well, that's an absolute brilliant effort. Gets a slight deflection as well off one of the England players. Hits the outside of the post. I mean, England, although the other side's dominated the game, Holland, England have actually had the three best shots.
Platt trying to turn it wide there. Tony Adams. Oh, kicked off the line. And England now really with 3 or 4 excellent chances. Graham Taylor sits back there, can't believe it, and knocked off the line there when it looked a certainty that Tony Adams was going to score.
Well, that was an incredible piece of work, wasn't it? Tony Adams, you'd have bet your life, and he took it very, very cool, and some magnificent defending.
Firecrackers just come on the field and missed Paul Ince by no more than a couple of inches, and the referee wants that sorted out. Looking at that Tony Adams shot just a moment ago, was it a shot or was it a cross?
No, I think when he straightened himself up, Brian. Let's have a look at this.
Corner. Oh, off the line. Crossed in again by Merson. He still can't get a real positive touch on it. Crossed it in again, and this time De Hoy.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, they've played some great control football, Holland, and all of a sudden we maybe have had 4 or 5 goals by now.
But it's still 0-0. Wouters knocking it forward up towards Bergkamp. Good work there by Tony Adams. No, a foul given against England.
The encouraging thing must be if we can keep patient and keep solid at the back, we know we've always got a chance. I mean, they've got very few natural defenders in the team.
Koeman with the kick. Wide to Roy. Watched closely here by Paul Parker. Well played, Parker.
Just trying to think, I can't remember a game when England have had so many chances to open their accounts and yet not been in charge of the game.
Roy getting it back to De Boer. Picking up the Wolf. Wouters. Roy. Foul by Parker. extraordinary game, really, where you think we might have been overrun in the first 10 minutes or so, but in fact could be a clear and handsome lead now. Comes through to Overmars now. Coming inside this time. It was Lee Sharp who got that one away for England, and with the header there. Merson knocking it sideways, but Platt will not pick this up. Yes, he does. Gets it back to Dorigo. Hit long by Dorigo. Lee Sharp down this left flank.
Yes, I think you see when Dorigo's jockeying over Mars, if he's got support with him, I think he's going to be prepared to push him inside.
Dorigo to Ince. Erwin Koeman gets it back to Frank de Boer. Towards the half-hour mark, as you can see, still 0-0. Oh, mistake there by Seaman, and an offside against Brian Roy.
It's an absolutely incredible thing, isn't it? And Seaman should have been punished for his bad kicking, and Brian Roy chased the back pass in, couldn't get back onside.
It's playing nicely with his Manchester United teammate Lee Sharp there, but in the end Wouters gets in and gets it away for Holland to Roy. Boer calmly lifting it over the head of Merson to John de Wolf. Overmars. Bergkamp. Rijkaard. Wouters. Holland, of course, without Ruud Gullit and the injured Marco van Basten. Roy. Whether Pallister will get to this. Yes, indeed, and sets it up nicely for Dorigo. Half an hour gone. Still Dorigo. Whipping in the cross there. Ronald Koeman getting it from his brother. Getting it here towards Overmars. Pallister quickly charging into Overmars. Supported there by Dorigo. A long ball back to David Seaman. When you think of the chances we've had, Ron, Merson's shot was just off target. Tony Adams, David Platt, shot charged away.
Certainly Dorigo's the one that hit the post.
Dorigo hits the post, of course. A foul on Overmars by Dorigo, a little bit desperate there, and he's going to get a yellow card. Well, that was a bit harsh, I must say.
I think he looked a bit clumsy as it went out. He made it look worse, didn't he, Dorigo? It was a little bit amateurish, really. I think that's frustration coming out. I mean, just prior to that, the previous two times, he jockeyed him inside, and in actual fact, Overmars had given the ball away.
Koeman with a kick. With the cross. Couldn't quite get to it, and neither could Roy. Jumping for that one. It falls for Lee Sharp. Hit long by him, but Merson won't pick that up. Parker. Adams gets it clear. De Wolf. Here comes Lee Sharp. Throw to Holland. Rijkaard with it. Overmars. Bergkamp. Wouters against the German referee, and then knocks it wide for Erwin Koeman. Roy for Holland. Parker backing off him. And then gets it through, and again Bergkamp's over the top.
But again, you see him sitting in that little position just deep of his strikers. We all got attracted to the ball. You see, I think Paul Ince has got attracted to the ball. I think he was going to go and try and help Parker out instead of just staying disciplined and picking up the danger men in the middle of the box.
For all the tension out there, a really good game of football here in Rotterdam tonight. Still 0-0, as you can see, 32 minutes coming up to 33. Koeman. De Boer. Knocking it forward to his brother, his identical twin. And if Ron and I have trouble separating them, I could only say that the Dutch commentators themselves can never tell them apart. But it's a free kick now for Holland. And it'll be Frank de Boer with it. Beat the drum here, looking for the rhythm. It's going to bring them a goal. Up to Rijkaard. Pallister winning it comfortably in the air. Wouters. Rijkaard. Adams did well. A dummy there by Ronald Koeman. Shearer chasing, but Ronald Koeman in command, almost casually knocked sideways there by Ed Kravoy. Here comes the Dutch skipper again. Sharp. Against him there.
Didn't see much wrong with that at all, apart from the fact he probably lifted his boot up a little bit. But it didn't seem enough to warrant a free kick.
Ronald Koeman with it. De Boer. Parker. Oh my goodness, what's he playing at? And then, dangerous too, has a little tug at Brian Roy's shirt.
But it's clearly obstructed, Brian. I think that's when you need communication with your goalkeeper. I mean, we can't tell from here. But at this stage, he was looking for some help from David Seaman to let him know what it was about. I know your first thing when you're in your own box, if you're not sure, you get rid and then have your inquests. It was an ugly one for him.
Denmark 1, Northern Ireland 0. And in that same group, as you've probably not heard, or probably have heard, the Republic of Ireland beaten 3-1 by Spain in Dublin this afternoon.
Just wondering there, you know, I'm looking at Ronnie de Boer, who links up well and checks off from the front, whether maybe Tony Adams or Pallister maybe should be trying to get more rattles on them, more legitimate tackles, but challenges and test their courage, if you like. I mean, we're getting close to them and then just standing off. And I think that's enabling their front players to play a little bit.
Wolf now for Holland. De Boer. Rijkaard. Sharp battered into him. Back plays it wide for Palmer. Not long again, the flag goes up for an offside against Paul Merson. Koeman. Bergkamp. Rijkaard. Bergkamp. Overmars. De Boer, Bergkamp. And Roy are waiting in the middle. Dorigo did much better there. Still in play. Back to Rijkaard. Long towards Brian Roy. Parker got there before him. Parker's done a good job on Roy, actually, after those opening moments. Oh, my goodness, that was a bad ball by Lee Sharp. Putting Ince in all sorts of trouble. Roy with the shot, charged down. And in the end, it's a goal kick. Let's have a quick word from Jim Rosenthal down on the bench.
Brian, I've been chatting to Ian Wright down there, and Wright and the England substitutes feel that the key to this match is England rattling, to use Ron Atkinson's words, the Dutch wingers, Overmars and Brian Roy. We just saw a tremendous tackle from Dorigo on Overmars doing exactly that. But that is the feeling, that's the absolute key to this game. And Ian Wright also felt his Arsenal colleague Paul Merson more times than not would have put his chance away.
Koeman. And Dorigo doing well, getting in there and rattling, that seems to be the favourite word at the moment. Finding Shearer. Tries to link up with Merson, but the ball comes through to Overmars. In comes Ince with a sharp tackle on Rijkaard. A free kick given. You wanted to say something?
Yes, I was just going to say I feel a bit sorry for Alan Shearer. I mean, I think he's the best centre forward possibly in Europe. but he's looking very, very rusty at this level at the moment, isn't he? Which is understandable.
Out for 9 months, just had a few games for Blackburn Rovers before being thrust into this one. Last game for England was 11 months ago in the 4-0 win over Turkey. Wouters getting it back from Ronald Koeman. Roy.
That's brilliant play by Ince. He's come back, he's put the hook tackle on, won it, and then he's done the important thing. He's kept us the ball.
Maybe a free kick here for England. The Dutch know this is one they have to win. England would like a win, but would certainly be satisfied with a draw.
And of course, if we can keep the game in this sort of stage till towards the end, they will have to even overstretch. It may leave us a little bit more space. They're not quick at the back, Brian, and that would give me heart if I was the English manager.
Paul Merson waiting for Tony Adams, his Arsenal teammate, to come forward. Palmer with the shots.
Well, I suppose his only excuse from that is Bergkamp misses them as well from that range.
He's on for a real win double, is this young man today, not De Hoy, but Carlton Palmer, due to become a father for the first time tomorrow, I gather. And let's hope his wife Jenny is watching and enjoying what she's seeing. We wish them well. De Boer. With Roy outside him. Bergkamp's gone into the middle. Overmars is there with the volley, but it's well wide.
Now, what I don't understand there is the long ball down the middle there. Pallister's out-jumped there by Ronnie De Boer. If that was in an English league game against the best centre-forward, whoever, the best in the air, be it Chapman or anybody, I'm sure Pallister would have just gone and cleaned him out there. And the ball would be travelling back towards the Dutch goal instead of going onwards towards ours.
Seaman with the kick. High towards Shearer. Flick on by him to Merson. Watched now by Ronald Koeman. Merson doing really well there. Shearer on the far side. And Sharp with a shot. Platt with a header. The flag is up on the far side.
But once again, a glorious chance there for Paul Merson. I mean, he does very, very well there. Clearly offside. Unfortunately, but clearly offside. Shearer does very well just to keep the ball back in play. And that was a glorious chance as well for Merson. Hits it, unfortunately, into the ground.
Last 5 minutes of the first half, still 0-0. Remember, England want at least a draw from this game. The Dutch need a victory. Oh, is Rijkaard coming in, but the flag is up! The flag is up! It won't count. It won't count. The Dutch will be disappointed. A great run from the midfield by Frank Rijkaard. Oh, my goodness.
He wasn't offside.
He wasn't offside.
I must confess, Brian, my gut feeling, and sometimes you go by that, was as he timed his run, I thought, we're in trouble here. And we've had the luck of a flag there, that's for sure there. Luck of a flag, certainly. I mean, we can complain about hitting the post, we can complain about one or two other things there, but we've got no complaints there. We've had a right stroke.
Rijkaard's goal disallowed. It remains 0-0.
Just thinking earlier, Lee Sharp will never in his life have played against anybody of the type of Frankie Rijkaard, because as a so-called defender, he's spending most of his time attacking the English box, making timed runs off the sides.
Ince with the free kick. The Wolf with the header. Ince again for England. Knocking it wide towards Platt, but Platt won't keep that in play. It'll be a throw to the Dutch.
It's incredible, isn't it? 1 minute we're thinking Paul Merson might just give us the lead, and all of a sudden they think Rijkaard has given them the lead.
Rijkaard. Bergkamp. Overmars. De Boer's gone herring into the middle. Good play that time by Pallister, supported by Dorigo. And Dorigo hooks it away well, up to De Wolf. In goes Sharp. De Wolf again. Looks around, will play it where it's safe, back to this goalkeeper, Ed de Goy. Frank de Boer. Roy. Hounded there by Parker. Being forced to come all the way across here, but eventually he releases the ball for De Wolf. Bergkamp in there, a little back flick by him. Rijkaard's right in there again. Bergkamp again, charged down by not one, but two English defenders. And Paul Ince brings it away and finds Paul Merson. Palmer knocking it along the touchline, but there's no chance for Shearer there. Frank de Boer gets it, plays it for Ronald Koeman, the captain. A couple of minutes of the first half left now.
Well, this is where concentration's all important. Going in at no score will do us. What we mustn't do now, we mustn't encourage them or give them any encouragement to go in with a lead.
Rijkaard to Ronald Koeman. Bit too long that time.
But strange, hasn't been a strange half, been a very, very incidental half. But I mean, I think Holland have played far superior, and yet England might have been 4 goals to the good.
Overall, an extremely enjoyable 45 minutes. 7 goal attempts for Holland, 6 to England. But the better one's probably falling to England. And the Dutch with 1 goal disallowed, given offside when it wasn't. Palmer with those long legs of his, but he couldn't elude Frank de Boer. So it's England's ball. Paul Parker. Got Shearer to aim for. Platt looking to get something on the turn, but crowded out by 3 defenders. Palmer teasing it into the middle. De Hoy with the catch under pressure from both Lee Sharp and Paul Merson. Pallister getting plenty of distance on the header, but catching at least 2 England players offside. De Boer to his brother. Played now for Roy. Oh, that was some very quick thinking there by Seaman, because in the end it had to come off an England defender as Roy was flying through there. At first Seaman looked as though he was going to pick it up, and then suddenly realised he couldn't and got it clear. A real quick thinking there by the England goalkeeper. Wouters, Rijkaard, Overmars. Got to stop him, Dorigo, but he can't. Oh, misunderstanding there between the England defender and the goalkeeper as the half-time whistle goes. Hugely entertaining. Rijkaard having a goal disallowed. Holland playing the better football. England making the better chances. 0-0 here at half-time in Rotterdam. We'll be back right after the break.